Get into it, okay? She's gifted at what she does. Ah, ah. If y'all know someone that needs the information, make sure you let them know. Go to bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N, bit.ly/King Ashley N. Fun fact, I started my business with $125 and a laptop. So if I can do it, y'all can do it, right? So first thing, define your actual specific goal. So what are you going to use things for, right? Are you going to try and build up your subscriber list? Do you want to make a sale? Do you want to try and bring more people to your store? Do you want to bring awareness? Like maybe you have a movement, or you have a nonprofit or something like that. Because everybody doesn't necessarily want to try and, sell something with their social media. Some people are trying to get out a message, right, to the masses or something like that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, DKTN. You're very sweet. Blink, blink, blink. So that's how. So anyway, decide what you want to do. The second thing that I told you guys to do is that you need to put together an audit or an assessment of your current platforms and how they work or how they're not working, and kind of rank yourself to see how you're doing. You also want to go and figure out what platforms your target audiences are on. That is where I started giving you guys the different stats about kind of like Facebook and Instagram, the age groups of the users, those sorts of types of things. And then the third thing is how you can, create or improve your accounts, and which platforms you are going to use. So that was our top 3 last night. So everybody give me the fo. Fo, 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 fo. And I know it's pronounced for, but I like to say fo because it's fun. Okay. So everybody, number 4 is research, 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 research. Number 4 is research. Part of putting together a really strong strategy is you actually need to put a little time and thought into who we're going to post, what time we want to post, the type of content that we want to post. Because every time you post a piece of content, it should be intentional. The content should be based on your intentions. So, for instance, if I want to, let's say one of my goals is to pick up 500 new followers this weekend, right? And then I'm going to create content that is based around me picking up new followers. And I also want to be very mindful of what the followers are seeing when they land on my page, because this is going to help me get people integrated into kind of like the culture or the community on my page. Does that make sense? Is everybody picking up what I'm putting down? If I want to have a flash sale, maybe I start selling, and shout out to Jewel Kitto. Shout out to Jewel, my beautiful quartz, my polished rose quartz. She sent this to me. It's amazing, by the way. So let's say I want to start selling some of these rose quartz. Maybe I was going through my warehouse and I saw that I had a whole case of these. Maybe I have 100 more than I thought that I knew, and I want to sell some of these. And so I decide I'm going to have a flash sale because I need to make room for my new inventory that's coming in the spring. And so, I wasn't even aware that I had these. So I'm like, why not? Let's have a flash sale. So if my intention is to have a flash sale and bring awareness to this product, that means my posts probably for the next 2 or 3 days, maybe even that week, are going to be surrounded around this quartz. So a lot of people would make the mistake and they would say, hey, but that means that would say, hey, that means everything I do should be buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. And that's not really what we want to do. We want to start first to look at other pages that already have the eyes and ears of our target audience. And you're going to pay attention to some super important factors, okay? It is a beautiful piece for you, Calypso. First thing we're going to pay attention to is what time of day they're posting. So you want to look at, if you have a business page on Instagram, or if you have Planoly or Iconosquare, they are going to tell you the most most active times a day for your audience. Okay, so you want to jot those down. But real talk, there could be maybe the audience you're trying to reach, you find out that they're really active at 8 in the morning Pacific time, right? And you normally don't post until 10 in the morning Pacific time or something like that. Well, you may, if you find out on all these other pages, once you start doing some research, right, that, man, look at all these people out here at 8 o'clock in the morning. I may want to adjust and start doing a post at 8 in the morning. Hey, St. Clair's, thank you for putting up that content. So I'm researching to see the time. I'm looking to see the time that my audience is most active. You know, I'm looking at my data, but I'm also going to go and look at the people who already have my audience's attention. And I'm going to see what time of day they're posting. So this answers the question for a lot of y'all. Y'all are always like, what's the best time of day to post? And I always tell everybody, you know, I kind of can't tell you. I'd have to know some more about your audience and your page. There's no such thing as a best time of day to post because all of us have different audiences. So I have a lot of international people in my audience. So if I post in between 12 a.m. and 2 in the morning, my posts are still going to do really well. As a matter of fact, a post that I make at like 1:15 a.m. would actually do better than a post that I would post at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because the people who are in my audience are not really looking at Instagram at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Does that make sense? Everybody picking up what I'm putting down when I say that? So we want to look at the time. So we know what time to put our content out there so people can see it and they can come and like follow us or like us or go check out the blog or, you know, click the link to find out more about this, about my stone or whatever it is that I got going on. The second thing that you're looking at in your research is you want to pay attention to the colors, the formatting, the patterns. You know, you're paying attention to how the posts actually look. Thank you everybody in Periscope land that is sending out invitations right now. You know, the notifications are not working, so I appreciate y'all so much because y'all are over here working double time. Y'all thebomb.com. I love y'all so much. Yes, to the Kingdom members. So we're looking at the way things are formatted. Sometimes people, I don't want to get too complex. Okay. This is the short of it. People are really busy. Okay. People are bombarded by images and media and messages, and it's just a lot all the time. Okay. So a lot of times people are drawn to things that they can quickly assess what they are or what they mean or the message that, you know, they're supposed to take away from it. That's one of the reasons that memes are so popular. That's one of the reasons you will see pages that do really well. If there's like a title bar across whatever it is, even on my own page on the gram, I used to just shoot my tip of the week. I used to just do a video and put it out. I started putting a title on top of my tip of the week because my views actually went way up when I would put a title on it, because people could quickly assess if they wanted to listen to whatever it was that I was speaking about. So the title would be on there and people would say, oh, I do want to hear a tip about making more money, or I do want to hear a tip about my pricing. I do want to hear a tip about running my ad. Those sorts of types of things. Does that make sense? Oh, Nikki, thank you for searching. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down. So the reason I was able to figure that out, that wasn't something I didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to start putting titles on top of my tip of the weeks. No, I looked at the pages that already had my target audience's attention, and I looked at who was getting the most engagement, and I looked at what types of posts on their pages were doing really well. And a lot of the pages that had a title across the top or a title on the bottom, those posts were like outperforming a lot of the other posts on their pages. So that's how I figured it out. Yeah, you're going to try. You should try. You would be surprised. So that's what I mean by doing your research. So for me, the content that I had was good. I just changed the format of the content, and it automatically increased my views, my engagement, the shares, and everything, because people would look at it and identify that, hey, I want to hear more about, yellow cups or cleansing stones or doing the Macarena, whatever it is that you're talking about. And I'm not saying that a title on top of your video, your image is necessarily going to do that for you, but for my target audience, they like to consume information in that way. So that's how research helps you. So you also may be able to look at like the colors that people are using on their pages. Look at the types of images that people are responding well to. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually do some research and pay attention and be observant, because that's going to give you the inspiration so you can figure out what types of colors to put on your pages or what types of imagery. People get salty at me, but I'm going to tell y'all something, and this is the truth all day long. Now, shout out to all my white sisters in the room. I got part white sister in me. Okay, so I'm not being a hater. This is just a fact. And people always try to jump down my throat when I say this, but it's just the truth. If I put up an image of a white woman on my Instagram account or my Facebook account, and it's solely a white woman, if she doesn't have anybody else there with her, that's some of my lowest performing content. I can put a white man on something. I can put an Asian woman on something. I can put a Latina man or woman on something. I can put a West Indian. I can put an African American on something. I can put almost any other group, male or female, independently on an image, and the image will perform well. But literally, my images perform 50% less if it's literally an image of a white woman by herself. Now, if I put a white woman on an image, and maybe she's there with an Asian woman and a black woman, or she's there with a Latina woman, or even a white woman there with a white man, the engagement levels go back up and stay the same. I have no idea why. Well, I do have some idea. I have some idea of why that is. That's probably because 85% of my audience are minority. And so they resonate with images of people who look like them, right? And that's just a natural thing that human beings do. We resonate or gravitate towards people who look like us. Somebody said, "Wow, it's the truth." And I'm not, some people get mad when I say that, and they go, "Oh, you're being a racist." No, I'm not being a racist. The numbers don't lie. And I've tried it time and time again. So for me, if I care about how well something is going to perform, or if I want people to notice it or see it and respond to it, I'm just telling you, for my audience, because 85% of my audience members are minority, I'm not going to stick just a isolated white woman on the image. Now, I can put a white girl hanging out with a black girl. I can put a white girl hanging out with an Asian girl and a Latin girl. I can put a white girl sitting there with a white man drinking a cup of tea, and it's going to do fine. But if I put that image of that white woman up by herself, because people in my audience don't look like her, the majority of my audience, there's a few of y'all out there though, hey, white girls, hey, but y'all are not the majority of my audience base. I probably maybe have 3% of white women in my audience. And so because of that, a lot of people are not going to feel like they can relate to that image or that video, that sort of type of thing, or they will bypass it. It just is what it is. So you have to, so honestly, you need to get out in these streets and you need to do some research, right? You got, she said, hey, boo. So you got to get out and do research, but it'd be the same thing. Like now my clients who are white women, and if they're catering to a lot of white women and that's the majority of their audience, guess what? When we create images, I tell them to put white women on their images because they perform well. And guess what? For my white female clients, whenever they put images of white men, isolated white men, just a white guy, and he's not hanging out with any other guys, there's no woman in the picture, just a white man, they tank on their pages. They don't do well. But it makes sense. If 85 to 90% of their audience are other white women, guess what? People relate to people who look like them. So, of course, they're going to, if you want your post to resonate really well, so if this is like a sales, a post that represents like a product or a service or something like that, you may want to put an image of someone who represents that audience or someone who looks like that audience, and it's probably going to do better and give you better traction. So whenever we talk about being strategy, like I said, it's a much deeper than just making a post. You need to actually be thoughtful. You need to do some research. You need to figure out who your target audience is. You need to figure out what images, what colors they respond to, and then you need to look at the formatting of the content that you're choosing to put on that social media channel. Something else that you're going to want to look at, for instance, do y'all know that verticals and 1x1 squares do much better on social media for video format? Your engagement is going to be much less if you decide to shoot a horizontal based video. You know why? Because when people are scrolling on their mobile devices, most of the time they're in the vertical position. So anytime someone has to stop their flow and turn the phone sideways to try and make out what you're seeing or doing, a lot of people will opt to continue to scroll past it instead of taking it and turning it, unless they're like super interested in it, right? Does that make sense? That something as silly as shooting something in the vertical versus the horizontal can change your whole life. So your formatting is going to have a lot to do with your content. Also, the times. Look at how long people are engaged with videos. A sweet spot I figured out for me on Instagram and on YouTube, 15-second videos do really well for me. 15 seconds or 57 seconds. 30 seconds don't do that hot. 45 seconds doesn't do that well. Something about the 15-second mark or the 57-second. Don't know what it is, but when I look at the performance of, my little videos that I put on the gram, those are the video clips that perform the best. Now that I really have no idea why. So I know if I'm going to shoot a video, it's either going to be right at 15 seconds or it's going to be at 57. Very rarely are you going to see me have like a little video clip on Instagram that's in between, because that video is not going to do as well as the ones that are 15 to 57. Now that may not be the same for you, right? You're going to have to do some research, look at some of your data and see how it pulls up, but all those sorts of types of things matter. The last thing you want to pay attention to once you look at the time that people are posting and you're looking at the format and the imagery that's on the video, you want to pay attention to the descriptions so you can determine if you need to use long copy or short copy or a mix. That is going to have that's going to have a lot to do with your interaction and your engagement. Newsflash, everybody doesn't like reading a monologue. And then sometimes people don't like when there's not enough information about a product or a service or an event or something that you're asking people to do, right? So whatever it is, sit around, figure it out, and see what your audience is going to respond well to. You also, thank you. So we're also, also you want to look at actually who is commenting. The best way that I can describe this to you is that I'm not saying that likes don't matter, because likes do matter, but comments have much more weight. And typically, if someone would take the extra few seconds to comment on something versus just liking something, they may have more of an interest in that thing, right? And they also are probably going to be more active on that social media platform. And if we pick up followers, we want active followers, and we want followers who are going to convert, right? And we want followers who are going to opt into things and buy things and come to our website and look at our blog and tag other people and share our content out with other people. Does that make sense? So we're looking to see the engagement, because I'm looking to see who is engaging, because I may need to make some tweaks to my target audience, right? I may need to go to some of their active followers pages and look and see what type of hashtags they're using and what type of content they're commenting on and how often they're posting during the day. Everybody picking up what I'm putting down. I know some of y'all like, dang, I know it was this deep, baby, it's deep. I don't play no games. Okay, I am an observer. That is, one of the things I do. The part of the gift of business that I got from the Lord, that's one of the things that comes with that. It's all wrapped up inside of it. I identify systems, I identify patterns, I identify trends. And so I'm able to take things that other people normally aren't noticing, and I put it together so that you can create a system and make money over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's how it works for me. So I know some of y'all are like, God dang, is it really that serious? Yeah, it's that serious. And that has a lot to do though with why I can, make the type of funds that I can make, and my clients can make the type of income that they can make, because I am very intentional. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Y'all are so kind. Appreciate you, right? So that's what I mean when I say be intentional and do your research. So you need to have a plan. You need to know who you're speaking to. You need to know what you're speaking to them about. And you need to make sure that you can capture their attention and keep them interested. And also that you can entice them to go and, do whatever it is that you would like them to do. And the only way to do that is listen, right? You sell by listening, you sell by listening, you sell by listening. Everybody give me the 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. If you're just getting here, my name is Ashley Ann. I'm a public speaker. I'm an award-winning luxury event designer and a biz builder. I broadcast typically Monday through Thursdays around 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tips and tricks to help you catch the coins, pay the foes, and all the money you are missing. And tonight we're talking about how to create a strong social media strategy. Thank you, Kay Darcel. Thank you, Roya Calypso. That is what we're chit-chatting about tonight, because I want y'all to be great in these streets. I want y'all to win. So you got to think about how you're going to put your strategy together. So when we move towards number 5, after we've done our research, now it's actually time to create the content. Okay. So again, I'm going to go back to my beautiful rose quartz. Okay. And I am going to create some content around this sale that I want to have on rose quartz. Let's say I did my research and I found out that the time that my current audience is most active is at my 2 times for my audience that they're most active is at in between 8 and 8:30 a.m. and they are very active in between 4:30 and 6:30. I went and looked at, some competitors' pages and some complimentors' pages, and I found out that their audience, the audience that I'm trying to get in front of, that they're really active in between 11:30 and 1:30, and they are super duper active in between 9 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Okay. So if I'm taking notes and I'm putting together my strategy, guess what? I'm going to post 4 times a day, and I'm going to post in all 4 of those time slots. I'm going to post when those people, right? I want to post whenever those people are active, and I want to post when my people are active, because I want to increase my chances of, finding as many people as possible that are going to be interested in this and information around it, right? So that's the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to pick my time. Also, I did my research, so I know what colors and I know what images and I know what videos that they're responding to. So I'm going to get me out a piece of pen and paper, and I'm going to write down a posting cycle for this week. And I'm y'all, I do this in real life. Shout out to y'all. If you didn't know, you can get a social media content planner for the free 99 if you go to my link tree, and it will help you a lot with your conversions and your sales with social media. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna write down a posting cycle, because I got to post 4 times a day, and I'm gonna do this for 5 days. So that means there should be 20 posts in my posting cycle on Instagram. If I post 2 times a day on Facebook or in LinkedIn, that means there's going to be 10 posts in my posting cycle, right? So, and now I'm going to write down my different topics that I found out that people like to know. But everything that I talk about this week is going to be related to this, because I'm going to have a sale Friday through Sunday for my rose quartz. All right. So, maybe day 1, because I want to talk about things that are going to add value. I'm not just going to come out the gate and say, buy my rose quartz. I may post a picture of a rose quartz though, and I may say, this is a rose quartz. This is what it's used for, right? Post 2, I may post a picture of someone wearing a rose quartz and how you can dress it up. Post 3, I may put up a video tip, and I may talk about how you can cleanse your stones. Then post 4, I may put up another post, and I may say, hey, go, it may be a picture to represent my freebie. Go click the link in my bio, and go click the link in my bio and get your free guide on how to select the perfect stone for yourself. Right? Y'all, I'm just making this up as I'm going along. Then I'm going to do post 5, because I want to make, sure I make a sale on post 5. I may say, tonight in my live stream, I'm going to teach you guys all about how to utilize stones to change your vibrations and attract what you want in life or something. I don't know, but I'm making my post. Post 6, I may post up a picture of me headed to the post office sending out stones, because I want people to know that I have these for sale. So I'm gonna go to the post office, I'm gonna send out these stones, and I'm gonna say, hey, by the way, if you want your own rose quartz or onyx or any type of stone, go click the link in my bio, check out our selection, right? And on and on and on. So everything that I'm posting is going to be informative. It's adding value. Maybe my 7th post, I'm going to put up a quote, because people love quotes. So I'm going to put up some type of inspirational quote or motivational quote, or something that's thought provoking. But everything is going to be around this. Every time I broadcast, it's going to have something to do with stone education. And I'm probably going to feature the rose quartz all week and talk about it, or during my 2 broadcasts or 3 broadcasts. So everybody picking up what I'm putting down. So I know, and I'm doing 4 posts a day, because I did my research, and I know I want to post during the times my audience is active, and I want to post during the times that and I want to post during the times that my target audience is active, right? that's how we want to get down in these streets. Now, the next thing that you want to do, and nobody really talks to y'all about this, but you're going to need to turn on some ads eventually. Free 99 is only going to get you so far for so long. Eventually, if you want to be able to grow your page at a rapid pace, if you want to be able to sell your products and stuff, once we have a profitable page cycle figured out, we got our funnel set up, we got our profit machines going, we got stuff inside our email sequences. Well, I also need to start to think about how I'm going to make other people aware that I exist, and the easiest way to do this is with ads. So you're going to pop into your ads manager or your power editor, and you're going to, find your target audience. You're going to put it inside of the interest, and then you're going to run ads, and you're going to talk about, you're going to give people a link where they can sign up for, what did I say the freebie was? Like Stone Cleansing 101 or Beginner's Guide to Using Stones to Change Your Vibrations, or I don't know, whatever my freebie is. I'm going to put a link out to my freebie so people can learn about it and hop on my list. And then I'm going to send them an email and invite them to my broadcast or something like that, right? That's it. That's how that's going to work. Then I'm going to run some sponsored posts if I'm on Periscope or Instagram, and I'm going to reach out to some other influencers, or I'm going to reach out to some pages that have my audience's attention already, and I'm going to say, hey, can I get a post? And now when I go to get a post on their page, a lot of people make the mistake, they try to sell on that page. Do not sell on someone else's page. You are just there to basically say, hi, I exist. So you may put up some tip, or you may put up a cool quote with an image, and talk about how you have to protect your heart and protect your energy. And then you may do the description and say, go and follow Ashley Ann Rocks. Go follow Ashley Ann Rocks, the best page on Instagram, for the best page on Instagram for energy and vibration tips or something. I don't, or for spiritual healing tips or something like that. I don't know. Whatever I'm gonna say about myself. Go follow me though, right? And then when they get to the page, they're gonna see my post that is giving them different tips about the stone we're talking about that week. They're gonna see my post talking about my broadcast, that's tonight at 11:11. They're gonna see my post talking about the free stuff that you can get. They're gonna see my post that says go click the link in my bio to shop for this stuff, all of that kind of stuff. That's how that works. So number 5 is actually creating your content and the distribution plan, so that now I have a system in place so that people can move through it and I know what I'm doing, right? I'm acting intentionally and I have a purpose. And at this point, my page should be growing. My account should be getting more engagement. I should have people starting to pop into my DMs, and I'm adding value. I'm establishing myself as a resource, right? Which is super important. So whenever I have a sale, people are going to buy it because I'm getting you ready to consume my product. Okay. Everybody give me the 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. If you are just getting here, my name is Ashley Ann. I'm a public speaker. I'm an award-winning luxury event designer. More importantly to you, I'm a biz builder. I broadcast typically Monday through Thursdays around 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tips and tricks to help you catch the coins, paper the foes, and all the money you are missing. I'm the late night business king in these streets. I've helped over 5,000 people monetize their social media. 400 people create 6- and 7-figure incomes. And tonight we're talking about how to create a strong social media strategy. Blink, blink, blink. Hey, boo, hey, what's going on, Gold Digger TV? So, step 6. Offline events. I would say that this is probably a secret, but it's like everybody knows, but nobody knows. If it makes sense. When you get to the point and you're starting to do 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million, a month through your social media, a lot of those sales are made to people. They may initially find you and meet you via social media, but you're going to have some type of interaction with them on another platform. It doesn't necessarily have to be we're physically in a room with one another, but I may decide I'm going to have a webinar, right? And so then you come to my webinar that I'm hosting on Zoom. If I am working with people in a geographical location, you may actually come to my store because maybe I have a sip and see, or I have a VIP sale, or, on Saturday I'm running some type of special promotion and I have some other vendors there to partner with me, right? Maybe I have a podcast and I say, hey, you guys, on Thursday nights, I have a podcast at 7:00. We're going to have a panel there tonight. We're talking about XYZ. I would love for you guys to come and hang out with me, right? People who take the extra step, people who sign up inside of that email list, people who take that extra step, those are people who are normally really interested and whatever that is that you're talking about or that you're sharing or that you're teaching about. So if I'm going to sell my jewel, I may take it a step further and I'm going to host a webinar on Friday morning, or I'm going to host a webinar on Thursday night, and we're going to start talking, I'm going to do a beginner's guide and kind of like Jewel 101, and I'm going to roll through some different things and talk about the power and how they work and how to use them and blah, 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 whatever. I'm going to talk, but I'm going to get you to an offline event. And I may have 50 people that show up live to my jewel thing. And then because we're at some type of live event together, I'm going to make you an offer. So before I sell to anybody else in the public, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to buy your very own, beautiful polished rose quartz with the cage and your sterling silver chain. And it's also gonna come with a stick of white sage and a beautiful velvet bag for it. And you will get an instant download, with some type of video module tutorial. And I'm gonna give you free shipping, right? I'm gonna get it together over there. Guess what? People are gonna buy during my webinar because if you were interested enough to learn, if you were interested enough to come to a webinar to learn about this stone, then that means there's a pretty good probability that you would like to own one of these stones. Blink, blink, blink. Okay. So keep that in mind. A lot of people that are making tons and tons and tons of money, when we're doing these individual live events, when we're having boot camps, when we're doing challenges and we're like, hey, come and sign up for my challenge and it's going to be hosted in this private Facebook group or it's going to be on this app. Anytime I can get you to move from one platform to another or to come into another space, right? And we can interact with one another. That's how you're really going to ramp up those sales. So keep that in mind. And I'm not saying that you can't sell like straight up from your social media, because I do it all the time. And I haven't moved anyone to anything, but it's a combination, right? So I'm selling on my page. I'm establishing myself on my page. And then every now and then I'm saying, hey, if you're interested in this one particular thing, if you're trying to solve this one particular problem, if this is something that that you really want to know more about, then if you come over here, if you hop on this teleconference, if you get on this webinar, if you come to my store on Saturday, if you click the link and schedule a one-on-one consultation with me, whatever, that's how that works. If you're inside of my DM or you go to my website and send me an email and you're asking me specific questions, that's how a lot of this works so that you can really start to grow your sales. That's how it works. So number 6 is you're going to have to figure out how often you would like to have some type of, I guess we'll call it like an isolated interaction. But I feel like I should think of another term for it, because your isolated interactions aren't always necessarily one-on-one. Sometimes we'll call it an interest-based interaction. I like that better. We're going to say it's an interest-based interaction because it could be a small group. You could have a webinar with like 500 or 600 people inside of that webinar or that training, right? But that's 500 or 600 people who are specifically interested in that thing. Sorry, y'all. I've been talking too much this week. Right? Now, does that make sense? Yeah, you could call it invite only, but I would say like an interest-based interaction would be like a key, and you have to figure out how you're going to integrate those in your system over the next week or month or whatever, right? Number 7. Number seven. Woo. I think my lime. I normally drink lemon in my water. I've been drinking lime in my water today. I don't know how I feel about it. Thank you for all of the 7s and all of the hearts, okay? Number 7. So number 7, the last part is to actually look at your results, track your results, analyze the results, and then adjust. That is number 7. A lot of people always forget to do the assessment, and the assessment is just as important as actually, putting this plan into action. You have to assess things to see how well they worked out. That's the only way we know how to improve things. That's the only way we know how to adjust, or that's how we know if we like, hey, we hit the jackpot. Let me do this over and over and over again. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ashley Ann. I'm a public speaker. I'm an award-winning luxury event designer. More importantly to you, I'm a biz builder. I broadcast typically Monday through Thursdays around 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tips and tricks to help you catch the coins, paper the foes, and all the shmoney you are missing. Boom, there we go. Like what we teach works. If you know somebody that needs this information, don't be a hater. Tell them right now. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell a pimp, tell a player, tell a heifer, tell a hustler, tell your sister, tell your brother. Tell somebody your upline, tell somebody your downline. Tell somebody on your dream, tell somebody with a team. Tell somebody can't tell time, tell somebody that's always on time. Blink, blink, blink. Tell somebody about your girl, okay?